everybody. Thank you for taking the time to attend my presentation. I know you all are busy, so I'll try not to take too much of your time. My name is Clarence McQuimbery. I'm a student at the University of North Texas. I'm currently pursuing my bachelor's degree in applied arts and sciences, majoring in applied technology and performance improvement. I'm also employed full-time with Liberty Mutual Insurance as a claims adjuster. Which brings me to the subject of my topic today, which is the insurance policies. You want to make sure you purchase the right insurance coverage and understanding your policy. I don't know if everybody has something to share in terms of, past experiences, with insurance buying processes or being involved in an accident that you'd like to share with.
I've been involved in several.
And would you like to share your experiences with us?
The first time I hit a car in the garage.
Okay. And how was the whole insurance claims process for you? Was it pretty much easy?
Well, I just took it to a body shop and they just fixed it. I didn't have to deal with all that. I guess they dealt with it at the body shop.
Okay. What about purchasing insurance then? Has it been pretty much, a smooth process for you? Okay. And your impression of insurance companies? Most people do have.
I don't like them because they always want you to pay a deductible.
Okay. Well, hopefully, with this presentation, I can help you to understand your policy better and hopefully change your mindset or your perception of insurance company as always the bad guy.
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Do you know how much it will cost to get a 16-year-old added to your insurance policy?
That will be definitely a question that you want to get in contact with your insurance company. They'll go over the information with you in terms of, how to go and get it added on there, what you need, and how much, your insurance premium is going to change.
It usually goes up, right?
Definitely, if you had a driver on there, she's an inexperienced driver, so it's insurance is definitely going to be a little higher. But that's something that you want to get in contact with your insurance company, and they'll be able to walk you through because different insurance companies have different rates, so it always pays to shop around.
Okay, thank you.
And I do have some handouts in front of you that, throughout the presentation, you're free to refer to, and I'll let you know, when to go ahead and take a look at them. So we're going to go ahead and dig right in and, start with the presentation. Basically, introduction. What is an insurance policy? Does anybody have an idea what an insurance policy is, or no?
No.
That's why you're here, okay? All right. And all insurance policy is basically a contract between the insurer, which is the insurance company, and the insured. And the insured is basically the policy buyer, such as yourself, the person purchasing the insurance. No problem. And just a little background to myself that I really didn't get into. I've been in the insurance industry for about 7 years now, handling commercial claims as a claims adjuster. I'm not claiming to be an expert, but whatever information that I have, I'll try to pass it on to you all. Now, the meat and potatoes of our insurance contract. Basically, there are 4 basic parts to an insurance contract, which is the declarations page. The handout that I gave you, I believe it's the one that's with the staples on the second page. It has an example of what a deck page looks like, and I'm pretty sure most people, most of you that purchase the insurance, that is the page that you usually stop at when you get your insurance policy in the mail. You never go beyond that page. That page basically has your policy information, the policy number, the policy effective and expiration dates. It also has information on what your insurance premium is going to be, your policy limits, deductibles if you have any, and whatever additional coverage that you've purchased on your insurance. So that is always a handy page to really go through to make sure that once you get your policy handed to you, you look over that just to make sure what you purchased or asked for your insurance carrier to provide you with is as listed as it is on that. Does anybody have an idea what your minimum policy limits are for the state of Texas? No?
No, share it with us.
Okay. Well, the minimum requirements for Texas is basically it's 30, 60, and 25. And what that basically means, 30,000. The 30 is for this is just basically on the liability portion of it. That means that if you get in an accident, you injure somebody, your policy, your insurance carrier will pay up to 30,000 for an injured person in that particular, up to 30,000 for that injured person in that particular accident. The 60 means that for any one given accident, the maximum your insurance company will pay will be $60,000. So let's say you hit somebody, there's multiple passengers in the vehicle, people are injured, not just one person, it will only pay up to $60,000.
Does it include medical bills?
Yeah, that includes, that's the bodily injury.
Okay.
That covers medical injury, pain and suffering, and the likes. The 25,000, that's just property damage. Now, just based on these policy limits alone, you as an individual have to make a decision, because as you can see that, the minimum required for Texas is only $25,000. Now, if you go ahead and hit a $50,000 car and total that vehicle, your insurance company is not going to pay above 25. So those are some of the things that you need to take into consideration when you're buying a policy, just to make sure that you're adequately covered. This meaning that, the minimum required for the state doesn't mean that you're adequately covered. And that's, most people really don't pay attention to that. That's something that you really need to take into consideration when you're buying. Another part of the policy is the exclusions. What the exclusions definitely, in a nutshell, what it states is what is excluded, what is not covered, what your insurance company will not pay for. And usually, what's not covered is intentional acts. If you go ahead and hit somebody's car intentionally, insurance. The conditions is the next part that I'm going to talk about. On the conditions is definitely, this is stuff that you're basically responsible for as an insured, of which, mainly the big one is to report an insurance claim timely. There is no specific time period if you read through your policy in terms of, exactly how many days you have to report, but it's just, it's an ambiguous statement to where you just have to report timely. Now, timely is relative, but you just need to make sure that, you are able to report the claim as soon as possible. And that's basically what I just, gone over in terms of the insurance policy. Now, on the coverages side, the first is what I just went over to you, the minimum policy limits, which is liability coverage, which covers bodily injury. If you hurt somebody, and then there's the property damage, which I mentioned, which is $25,000 minimum for the state of Texas. And for yourself, there's also uninsured motorist coverage, which protects you directly. Let's say somebody hits you and they don't have insurance, that will step in and take care of your damages. Now, for your car, you have collision coverage, and then you have comprehensive coverage. Collision coverage pays for physical damage to your vehicle as a result of an auto collision with an object, or such as another car. Comprehensive coverage basically pays for damages, to your auto from all other losses other than collision. That's basically theft, fire, vandalism, weather-related losses such as hail and water. Now, comprehensive is basically, this is, although sometimes it will, that's something that you really need to talk with your insurance company. It might increase your premium, but this is basically, coverage that's available to you, which is as a result of, no fault of your own. Any questions? We good? Alrighty. Alright. And obviously, there's other optional coverages that you can purchase, which is basically, one is MedPay. If you don't have health insurance, or you just don't want to have your, you want to have a backup, there is a MedPay available which covers you in an event of an accident, even if it's your fault. You can contact your insurance company. Obviously, you want to pay attention to, what the limits are. It pays for your medicals, funeral expenses for you and others injured or killed in an accident while riding or driving in your particular vehicle. Did you have a question, Colin? No,
I didn't.
Okay, good. Okay. All right, the next one is rental reimbursement coverage. basically pays, for your rental in case you are in an accident, your vehicle is in the shop for repairs. It covers your vehicles, and coverage, the amount covered depends on how much you purchase on your policy. So you want to pay attention to exactly how much per day your insurance policy pays. Usually it's about $30 a day, up to maybe 30 days. So you want to take into consideration that when purchasing insurance, in case you're involved in an accident, you need a rental vehicle, you have no alternative transportation. The other one is towing or emergency roadside service. If you have a car breaks down, you can have that added on your policy. They'll come tow your vehicle, take it to the body shop for your service. Emergency roadside service, dead battery situations, tire change. You can have that added on your policy if it needs to be. And these are all endorsements that can be added on the policy at an extra charge. So you want to take into consideration cost-benefit analysis, whether it's worthwhile purchasing that, or if you want to go ahead and set money aside for rental, just depending on your preference. Okay, now to the last part here, what to do. I'm sure this is basically what you were mainly interested in. What to do in case of you're involved in an accident. The main important bullet point is to remain calm. Just breathe, remain calm. Because when you're calm, you are able to handle and manage the situation more appropriately. Second, you need to call the police, make a police report. Now, if it's usually a minor accident, no injuries involved, police will tell you to go ahead and exchange information. They won't come out to the scene, but definitely injury-related situations, you want to make sure you contact the police so they can come out. Also, even if they don't come out, they will have that call on record. Should there be a situation where there's a dispute that the accident never occurred, we can always put that information up. Third, you want to check just to make sure that nobody's injured when you're involved in an accident, and administer first aid if necessary, if you're qualified and know how to. Fourth, you want to make sure you get the information, address, policy number for the other person involved.
You want the license plate number too, like everything, right?
Yeah, usually if you get their policy, the insurance card, it has their VIN number, phone number, the policy numbers, everything on them. But if you want to get a policy number, license plate number, definitely, you can go ahead and do that. But you want to make sure you get their name. Usually, get a driver's license to confirm that the person that you're talking to is really who they say are. So that's always something to take into to be make sure that you're aware of. Collect information if there are any witnesses. Get their contact phone numbers and address, because that might help you with your claim later, in case the other person changes their story in regards to what happened, which being in claims happens a lot. You want to take photos of the scene if possible. Usually, if you don't need to move the vehicle into a safe place, just make sure to take photos before you move the vehicle. But you want to make sure that it's safe to do so before you take any kind of photos. Another important fact is do not admit fault. Just go ahead and take the information.
What happened if you hit him from behind? You hit him from behind, it's your fault.
Definitely, if you hit somebody from behind, that's definitely, you are at fault for that. But there are other circumstances where, there's fraud that's going on, the swoop and slide drivers that come up and hit their brakes in front of you. Mm-hmm. That's definitely something that's not your fault. But so just, in cases like that, do not admit fault until you report the insurance company. Let your insurance company do all the investigation for you. You can ask the police officer if it's available, you can obtain a copy of the police report, but normally your insurance company, your claims adjuster will know the process of how to get that for you, if needed. And the last, but most important, is you want to make sure you get in contact with your insurance company and notify them immediately of the incident. Another point that's not on there, you need to be careful of those drivers, getting a little minor fender bender accident and they ask you for money to, take care of the situation matter right there. Yeah, that's definitely a no-no. Because one, if you give them cash out, you're gonna prove that, you know, you took care of the damages. They might even still file a claim with your insurance company, and then you out the money that you paid. So definitely, if you have an insurance policy, you wanna make sure that you make your insurance company takes care of, the claim if you're ever involved in an accident. Yeah. Key points to remember when considering an auto policy. One, you want to make sure that your auto insurance policy will financially protect you to your policy limits for the damages for the incident, which I mentioned early on about those policy limits that you want to take care of. Make sure that you have adequate coverage for, you know, what you basically feel you need. Also, you want to be aware of, you know, types of coverages, you know, offered and what is required by your state, which I basically mentioned. You want to review your auto policy, stay informed on what and whom your auto policy will cover. So definitely when you get a policy in the mail, you want to make sure you read over it and you make sure you understand it. And if you have any questions, contact your insurance company or your agent and they'll be able to explain that information better to you. Know your state minimum amounts. This information changes regularly, so you want to make sure you know your policy, that you're up to date with your state policy minimum requirements. Because with inflation, this figure is always changing and the cost of medical expenses keeps going up. Another important thing is the state in which you reside have either a tort or no-fault system. Tort is, Texas is a tort system. There's always a person that's involved, which is basically a tort feature. That's a person that is at fault. And a no-fault system, I think Michigan has a no-fault system to where, you know, if you're involved in an accident where there's nobody at fault, you report your claim to your insurance company. I report my claim to my insurance company. We take care of the damages. And that's it. Now, I mean, I can see your point where you said that it makes, you know, life easier, but what if it's a situation where, you know, somebody, you know, hits you real hard and you injured pretty bad? You want to be able to go after that person, especially with, you know, if you're injured to where you can't even go to work.
So is there a lot of arguing between insurance companies, like basically with these claims, like, you know, like that? Because you don't really see that type of competitive nature in the insurance company. Do they really be calling other companies and like sorting out, you know, who's gonna pay what? You know what I mean?
Usually, if you and I were to get in an accident, you report your the claim to your insurance company. I report it to mine. Mine will do their investigation. Yours will do your investigation. And usually, mine will contact you to ask you what happened. Yours will contact me to ask me what happened. And but as long as our story stays straight in regards to what happened, usually, you know, you don't run into any problems. The other insurance company will say, yeah, we're at fault. We'll take care of your insurance damages.
Okay.
Problem only comes when, you know, if I start lying and saying, no, he is at fault and he hit me first, that kind of stuff.
So the
Oh, I
companies
changed my story. Sorry.
The companies don't call each other.
No, we do. They do talk to each other and claim, you know, ask you, hey, have you accepted liability on this one? They say, I have a claimant, who is our insured, and she reports the claim to us. She wants us to take care of her damages because your insurance company is not handling it. I can call your insurance company, find out, you know, hey, what's the problem here? What's going on? Have you accepted liability? If they say they've accepted liability, then I can always call my insured back and say, well, they've accepted liability. You can go through them and then you can take care of your damages. And at least that way you avoid having to pay a deductible if you do have one. And if you need a rental, and if I don't have renter insurance coverage on my policy, the other insurance company is going to pay for the rental. So it always works out. Sometimes it's better just to wait for the, you know, that fault insurance carrier to take care of your damages because you don't have to pay so much out of pocket. Whereas if you go through an insurance company, you know, if you don't have rental, then you pay that out of pocket, and you're gonna have to submit that to your insurance company, and then they're gonna have to go over the other company, and who knows when you're gonna get that money back. And then just make sure the last point here is when an accident occurs, you know what to do to protect yourself and others around you. And that is the end of my presentation. I don't know if did y'all have any questions, comments?
No, it's very
Very informative.
informative.
You
Yes.
understood?
Mm-hmm.
Did I change your perception on your insurance companies in terms of what you feel in terms?
Sort of,
A little bit?
I know the better insurance companies will do all that stuff, but the little cut rate ones, I'm not sure if you get that kind of service from them.
Yeah, usually in terms of premium, you get what you pay for in terms of service. So if you really want good service from an insurance company, definitely the service comes with a higher premium. But just want to make sure when you purchase your auto insurance policy, you take time to read and understand your policy. And hopefully that'll help you become a better informed buyer in the whole insurance buying process.
Good.
All right.
Very informative.
All right. Thank you. Well, I appreciate everybody's time. I appreciate y'all for coming. This brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you.